What if I told you the story of globalization you know is wrong? What if the first massive continent-spanning trade networks didn't start with European ships crossing the Atlantic? What if indigenous Americans were trading goods and ideas across thousands of miles, centuries before Columbus even set sail? Let's uncover the real story of the America's forgotten economic empires. Forget what you learned in history class about primitive, isolated tribes. For indigenous peoples across the Americas, trade wasn't just about getting stuff, it was about survival, power, and peace. These weren't cold, money-based transactions like we see today. Instead, they were built on relationships, reciprocity, and trust. A trade agreement wasn't just a deal. It was a pact, a promise of mutual support. If a neighboring community had a bad harvest, trade relationships ensured they wouldn't starve. If a powerful group threatened another, alliances formed through trade could provide protection. This system created vast networks of interdependence that stretched for thousands of miles. It was a sophisticated web of diplomacy where goods weren't just exchanged, they cemented friendships and prevented wars. This was an economy of people, not just profit. Now, let's look at the incredible scale of these networks. In North America, copper mined near the Great Lakes has been found in archaeological sites all the way down in the Gulf of Mexico. That's a journey of over 1,000 miles. Obsidian, a volcanic glass prized for making incredibly sharp tools, was quarried in specific locations like the Rocky Mountains and traded across the entire continent. Seashells from the coasts of Florida and California made their way deep into the interior, ending up in places like modern-day Ohio and Illinois. At the heart of much of this activity was a city you might not have heard of, Cahokia, located near present-day St. Louis. Cahokia was a bustling metropolis, larger than London was at the time. It was a massive trade hub, a crossroads where goods, people, and ideas from all over North America converged. Think of it as the ancient equivalent of New York or Tokyo, a vibrant center of commerce and culture, all thriving 1,000 years ago. Moving south into Mesoamerica, the systems became even more organized. The Maya and Aztec civilizations had enormous, vibrant markets called tianguis. The Spanish conquistadors were stunned when they first saw them. One described the market at Tlatelolco, the sister city of the Aztec capital, as being larger and better organized than anything in Rome or Constantinople. Tens of thousands of people gathered daily to trade everything you can imagine: food, textiles, pottery, precious feathers, and obsidian tools. And what did they use for currency? Not gold or silver coins, but cacao beans. That's right, chocolate was literally money. A turkey might cost you 100 cacao beans, while a canoe could be several thousand. This wasn't just casual bartering. It was a monetized economy. The Aztecs even had a class of professional long-distance merchants known as the Pochteka. These traders were organized into powerful guilds, traveled in armed caravans, and sometimes even acted as spies for the Aztec emperor. They were the engine of a massive commercial empire. Further south in the Andes Mountains, the Inca empire created one of the most incredible logistical masterpieces in human history. They built a colossal road system called the Capac-O, stretching over 40,000 kilometers. That's nearly 25,000 miles. This network of paved roads, bridges, and tunnels connected the entire empire, from the high mountain peaks down to the coastal deserts and into the Amazon jungle. But here's the mind-blowing part. They did it all without wheeled vehicles. So how did they move goods? Llama caravans. Llamas were the trucks of the Andes, capable of carrying significant loads over long distances and treacherous terrain. This system allowed for something called vertical archipelago economics. Communities at different altitudes specialized in different products. Potatoes and quinoa grew in the highlands, maize and beans in the mid-valleys, and fish and salt came from the coast. The Inca road system allowed these goods to be exchanged efficiently, ensuring that everyone across the empire had access to a diverse diet and a wide range of resources. It was a brilliant solution to the challenges of living in one of the world's extreme environments. So, how did these massive trade networks function without wheels? Large draft animals like horses or massive sailing ships? The answer is human ingenuity and deep environmental knowledge. In North and Mesoamerica, goods were often transported by professional porters who carried incredible loads on their backs using a device called a tumpline, a strap worn across the forehead. They could cover 20 to 30 miles a day. Along the coasts and rivers, they used canoes and rafts. In the Andes, as we saw, it was all about the llamas. But it wasn't just about brute force. These systems relied on an intimate understanding of the landscape, weather patterns, and seasonal changes. Traders knew the safest routes, the best times to travel, and where to find water and shelter. This knowledge was passed down through generations, a living library of logistical information that made these vast networks possible. It was a testament to human and animal power, combined with brilliant planning. Another fascinating aspect is that many of these vast trade networks existed without being part of a single conquering empire. While the Aztecs and Inca did build empires, many other networks, especially in North America, were decentralized. They operated on a model of mutual benefit, not military domination. A community didn't need to conquer its neighbor to trade with them. In fact, peaceful exchange was often more profitable and sustainable. This meant that trade was also a primary vehicle for cultural exchange. When people traded goods, they also traded ideas, technologies, artistic styles, and religious beliefs. A new pottery design from the southwest could influence art in the Great Plains. A new farming technique from Mexico could eventually find its way north. This wasn't cultural conquest, it was cultural conversation, a dynamic and organic spread of innovation that enriched societies across the continents without erasing their unique identities. So, if these incredible economic systems were so vast and sophisticated, why did Europeans completely miss them? Why did they paint a picture of a primitive, disconnected world? There are a few key reasons. First, many of these trade agreements and historical records were oral. Indigenous cultures often relied on powerful oral traditions, not written contracts, to manage their relationships. When Europeans arrived, they were looking for documents, ledgers, and coins, the things they understood as markers of a civilized economy. When they didn't find them, they assumed no such economy existed. This was a profound colonial bias. They saw what they wanted to see and interpreted the absence of European-style systems as a total lack of any system at all. They couldn't comprehend an economy built on relationships and reciprocity rather than written law and state-backed currency. This blindness allowed them to justify their own economic and political domination. But today, archaeologists are uncovering the undeniable proof that Europeans missed. How do we know a shell from the Gulf of Mexico ended up in a village in Ohio? We find it there, buried in an archaeological site. Scientists use a range of high-tech methods to trace these objects back to their source. Chemical sourcing, for example, can analyze the specific elemental fingerprint of a piece of obsidian and match it to the exact volcano it came from. Isotope analysis of copper artifacts can pinpoint the mine they were extracted from. We can even use carbon dating on the organic materials found alongside these trade goods to create a precise timeline, showing us exactly when these routes were active. Every non-local artifact discovered is a piece of a giant puzzle, a dot on a map that, when connected, reveals the breathtaking scale of these ancient highways of commerce. The evidence is literally written in the earth. This mountain of evidence forces us to completely rethink the idea of primitive economies. These systems were anything but simple. They were complex, efficient, and in many ways incredibly sustainable. They managed supply and demand across vast distances, adapted to diverse and challenging environments, and supported large populations for centuries. They weren't driven by a relentless pursuit of infinite growth, but by a balanced logic of community well-being and long-term stability. They were deeply human systems, built on trust, social connection, and a profound respect for the natural world. To dismiss them as primitive is not only inaccurate, it's a failure to appreciate a different and, in some ways, more resilient way of organizing economic life. These weren't failed experiments on the path to modern capitalism. They were successful, alternative models in their own right. So, the next time you hear that globalization started with European explorers, remember the real story. Remember the copper traders of the Great Lakes, the cacao currency of the Maya, and the llama caravans of the Inca. Remember the vast, intricate networks that connected peoples and cultures across two continents, long before the Old World and the New World collided. The Americas were never an isolated, empty land, waiting to be discovered. They were a world connected, a vibrant tapestry of societies linked by trade, diplomacy, and a shared human desire for connection. Thanks for watching. If you found this journey into the past as fascinating as I did, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next exploration. See you next time.